Hello, I'm Amy the Bunny Lady, and this is my partner Elusive, Ellie for short. High five. Good job. And today we're going to talk about how to set up a basic rabbit enclosure. If you are new to our channel, welcome. We give tips and tricks for how to make sure you have a happy and healthy bunny in your home. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscription button and the notification bell next to it so you never miss any of our weekly videos. Before we get started, the supplies you will need to set up your rabbit's enclosure are the enclosure itself, which we will talk about in a minute, the litter box and litter, hay, and an optional, you can use a hay trough. You need food and water bowls. You need some healthy brand of pellets. You need some kind of flooring for your rabbit, a hiding house for your rabbit, and a bunch of toys to give to your rabbit. So step one, let's talk about the enclosure itself. What makes a good habitat for your rabbit? For the most part, you do want to avoid typical rabbit cages or cages that are marketed towards rabbits like in pet stores. These are almost always going to be too small for rabbits. So what I actually recommend is going for a pet playpen instead of getting a rabbit cage. So a pet playpen is usually found in the dog section. It is going to be something like this with the gates, and you can hook up the ends to make like a octagon, or you can make a square. But you hook up the ends of the gate to make an enclosure pen for your rabbit instead of using a cage. This ends up giving your rabbit a lot more space so that they can still be active during the day and they're not going to feel like they are cramped and stuck into a small space, because rabbits are pretty active, so you want to make sure you give them enough space. I do have links to some of these pens that you can find in the description below, so feel free to check that out. They are affiliate links, so anything that you buy using those links, I may be able to get a commission from that, so it does help out the channel if you use those links, but you don't have to use them if you don't want to. Step two is finding a good spot for your rabbit's enclosure. Now this is important because you want to make sure, especially for shy or anxious rabbits, that you put their enclosure into a place where it's not going to be too much traffic. They're not going to be surrounded by noise all the time. So into a quiet place where they can feel secure. Oftentimes corners of rooms tend to be great areas because the two walls in the corner will help your rabbit to feel a little bit safer so that they're not completely surrounded by activity at all times. So you want to pick a good spot that's kind of out of the way but also close enough to the activity that you'll be able to socialize with your rabbit. So you can still put your rabbit into a living room, or in my case they're in my bedroom, so that they can have time to interact with you, but also keeping them out of the way enough, especially if you have kids or loud events happening at your home, keeping them out of the way of those types of areas so that they're not constantly surrounded by noise. Now before you set up the enclosure gates, you'll want to think about the flooring for your rabbit. So in my case, I have a separate area rug on top of the carpeted floor, just in case, because rabbits do like to dig into carpet a lot of the time. So putting down some kind of flooring can help to protect the more expensive carpet underneath, so getting a cheap area rug. You also want to put this kind of flooring down on a hardwood floor because rabbits' feet don't have pads on them, so they tend to slip on hardwood floors, and over time that will hurt their back because they can't get a grip on the floor. So you do want to make sure you put something down. It could even be flattened cardboard boxes. You can put those down along the floor to give your rabbit some footing. But you do want to make sure you think about the flooring so that A, your rabbit can't destroy it, and B, your rabbit can still be comfortable and get a grip while they are walking around inside their enclosure. Once you have the flooring set up, you can put the pen that you got on top of the floor and set it up in the area that you picked, so that now you have the base of your enclosure set up. So now let's start to set up the inside. The first thing that you'll do is to pick a corner to put the litter box. Put some litter into your litter box and then put the litter box into one corner of the enclosure. If you already know which corner your rabbit likes to use as the bathroom or which area, then you want to set up the litter box in that spot, because that's going to be the best way to get your rabbit to use the litter box. Usually rabbits will pick one corner or they'll pick one spot of their enclosure, so once you know where that is, you'll have to be willing to move the litter box to that spot so that your rabbits will be more likely to use the litter box because it's in that spot. It's in their bathroom spot. Next, you want to get the hay and potentially the hay trough and put it near the litter box. You can put the hay directly into the litter box if you want to. That's why I say the hay trough is optional. But you can also hang the hay trough next to the litter box. You want to make sure that the hay is in the vicinity of the litter box so that they can eat it from within the box, because rabbits like to eat and poop at the same time for some reason. So making sure that you have the hay nearby will encourage better litter box habits. Next, you want to set up the food and water bowls. Now, it's best if you can set up the food and water bowls and as far away from the litter box as you can. So if you have the litter box in one corner, choose the complete opposite corner to set up the food and water bowls. This is best because a lot of times as rabbits hop out of the litter box, they will kind of spray poop and litter as they go, and you want to avoid getting that into their food and water bowls. So setting those up in a section that is far away, the farthest corner, is generally the best option. Next, you want to think about a hiding house for your rabbit. So something like this for your rabbit. You can also use something like a cat cube. Those can be great, especially for larger rabbits. Or you can even just use a cardboard box, set it on its side, or cut a hole into it, and then you've got a very cheap hiding house for your rabbit. But these are great for rabbits because they help them feel more secure in their home environment. It gives them a hiding spot so they don't feel like they're always being watched, because as prey animals, a lot of times rabbits like to hide and like to feel like they're hidden. So giving them that kind of option, even if they don't use it all that often, just giving them that kind of option can help them feel more secure. So you do want to make sure you set up a hiding house, usually in whatever corner is left. So you'll have your litter box, you'll have your entrance, you'll have your food and water bowls, and then your hiding house will go into the other corner. And then next you want to think about toys. Rabbits need toys to play with during the day. That's going to be an important part of any enclosure because you don't want your rabbit to get bored if you are gone for work during the day or something like that. So making sure you give them a variety of toys so that they can choose what they want to play with. So these can be cardboard toys, they can be hay-based toys like hanging toys. You can give them natural toys like sticks and stuff. And you can give them like little plastic toys that they can toss around, things like that. Just give them a variety and sprinkle them throughout the enclosure so that your rabbit can choose what they want to play with. This will help with your rabbit's mental enrichment, and it will keep them happy and occupied during the day. And now, once you have everything set up, it is time to let your rabbit into their new home. Even though you have set up your rabbit's home according to like making sure your rabbit has their bathroom spot, their food spot, your rabbit might want to redecorate. They might move their litter box to a different spot, they might move their hiding house around. It's their home, may as well let them redecorate their room, right? So for example, with Ellie here, when I first brought her home, I tried to put the litter box over in that corner of the enclosure, but every time I put it back in that corner, she moved it back here. And so eventually I just, I was like, you know what, you're right, you can have it here if you want to. She was using the litter box, so there's no problem with that. So you gotta let your rabbit redecorate, let them make their enclosure feel like home to them. Now you've set up your rabbit's home base, and it is a home sweet home for them, so that they can be safe during the day and happy while you can't supervise them. I will have links to all of the supplies in the description below, so feel free to check that out. But have fun setting up your new rabbit's home, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week.